so poofy right now, but like, am I seeing anyone? Have I talked to a human in like the past freaking week? Today I wanted to talk about, I like don't know why I feel uncomfortable saying it. I shouldn't. Okay, I want to talk about recovery, specifically from eating disorders during this whole COVID-19 situation. A little bit about my own backstory. When I was in high school, I had kind of a diagnosis. I wasn't necessarily fitting into one category of like anorexia, bulimia, binge eating disorder, whatever. I kind of was just restrictive and also kind of doing the over-exercise, so didn't really fit into one category, but that doesn't matter. A lot of people are fitting into the more general idea of like disordered eating rather than, again, being like a specific category. I don't know, I'm not gonna go into that, but basically that's kind of my backstory. And now I'm a senior in college, so this was when I was a senior in high school. I mean, I've had kind of disordered eating for really as long as I can remember, but it has become, I guess, more prevalent in the past couple years just because I was getting help for it and then obviously had to address it. Recently, I was actually doing a lot better. I was taking more days off of exercise. I started taking medication that was just making me feel a lot better. It really changed my life in the sense of just feeling less like crazy. And I hate to use that word, but like I felt just not myself for a really long time. I felt just like very scattered. Like that's the way to describe it. I couldn't be present ever because I was always so anxious about the next thing. I see a great therapist. Actually, it's almost our 1-year anniversary. That's exciting. But yeah, she's wonderful, and let's just say I was really doing better. Fast forward to now, COVID-19 time. A lot has happened, obviously. I've had to face a lot of different things that are probably going to cause some trauma in the future, between like having to move all of my stuff within a matter of 24 hours to just being notified of new, like, really horrible things every single day. And it's a lot. And within this time, it's really easy to forget about your milestones in recovery. Just like think about other stuff that's going on in the world, and that's so normal, because like if you've ever had an eating disorder, a lot of the times it's one part of it is making excuses to not recover. That's kind of what the current challenge has been. I live alone, so it makes it easier in some ways and harder in other ways. It's nice because I have no one looking down on my shoulder all the time. I can kind of just, like, I have the ease to really do whatever I want, and a lot of the times that actually really helps me because when I have people telling me what I need to do and all of that, I actually want to do it less. So it's kind of nice that I can have like free reign, but at the same time, I have no one to hold me accountable when I'm not doing those things. During this time in particular, because I really kind of am alone, like a lot of my friends are home and I don't have, like, I'm really not even able to see the people that are here. I will say, like, it has been more difficult to have any type of accountability. Basically, I think within myself, and I'm pretty confident that this likely happens in others who are in similar situations. During this time, it's really easy to put your recovery aside, because there's so much going on in the world and you are just one person, and yeah, it's easy to just be like, okay, well, I'm not going to do all the things I was doing before because now I have this other big thing to worry about. That's very normal. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that your recovery or really anything about yourself that you're trying to do doesn't matter. If anything, now can be a time where you focus more on it. And trust me, this is not something I want to do. I love having so many things going on, so that recovery is like the last thing I have to worry about. And in a way, that kind of makes this time a blessing. And I hate to say that because this time I don't think is really a blessing for certain people. But at the same time, if you try to think about it that way, then maybe it'll make a difference. I saw a video where the individual talking was saying that she challenged the people who are watching the video to use this time to really hone in on the things that you are kind of avoiding. Now is kind of a time where you likely have more space and energy to recover, and I'm not talking everyone. I recognize that certain people might be in a different predicament that I'm in, and I'm really fortunate that I have the time and space to focus on my recovery. I think that a lot of people also find that selfish, but honestly, if you're just taking care of you and you're not hurting anybody else, I don't see how that's really a problem. Once you are healthy and restored to a normal weight and mindset, you'll actually have more energy to then help those other people or do whatever you want. The same video that I was watching, the girl was saying that all these changes happened when she had gained more weight. She was able to sleep better and just having more energy to get through the day, and that is like so important. And I think like a lot of the time, in another video I was watching, someone said that people will make the goal of recovery weight gain, and obviously that is a goal depending on the case, but it's also about like vitality gain. When you're constantly thinking about food or exercise or body image or whatever, you're not really living, and that's like not a way to go about things. And trust me, I know I'm preaching to the choir here. Like, I'm mostly doing this for myself so I can watch this later and be like, listen to yourself, okay? You're saying smart things for once. Also, giving yourself forgiveness, knowing that not every day will be perfect. Some days you might just want to lay in bed, do nothing, and not focus on this, and that's okay. One thing that I have really enjoyed about this time is that I have more time to cook and explore different recipes. Now that I can like actually look forward to eating, it's almost a lot easier in a way, because like when I had such a busy schedule, eating was kind of like my last priority, and now it's like, oh, I have time to like make this really fun thing. Also, something that helps me is like eating with other people, and now obviously I can't really do that, but being on FaceTime while you're eating, like talking to people, maybe doing like a like family dinner or whatever, so like talking to people while you're both eating, that kind of helps, because again, it shows that eating can be an enjoyable activity.
Social media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
If those things are bothering you, get rid of them. I'm not kidding. The day that I did it, I felt so much better. Like, I wasn't constantly checking, so A, my screen time went down, and B, I wasn't constantly comparing myself to others. Like, I'm not looking at other people, what they're doing for their diets and workouts and all of that, and I'm just focusing on myself, and it's so much better. I'm not kidding.
Don't compare yourself to others.
Well, it's impossible to do that, but don't do like excess things that will inevitably cause you to compare yourself to others, because recovery is such an individual thing. We don't have time for that. I've rambled on for enough time. Basically, if you take anything out of this video, it's me challenging you, and very much myself, to use this time, as scary as it is, to really focus on yourself and your own needs and just feeling better and healing. I'm not saying that at the end of this time period, whenever it ends, you will be perfect and fully healed, because I think it takes so long and a lot of outside support, which you might not have right now. You can still use it as a time to just think about it. If that's all you're doing, like, that's amazing. Before I finish up, I just want to say I am not a therapist. I am not a dietitian or a counselor or anything, so take everything I say with a grain of salt, and also I'm not perfect. That is all. I hope that you can at least maybe relate to this or get some insight, or maybe just have a laugh, I don't know. So stay safe and sane and take care of yourselves, and I think that's it.